The year is 2025. The global landscape is dominated by an escalating trade war between the world's two largest economies, the United States and China. This economic rivalry has far-reaching consequences, impacting businesses, consumers, and governments worldwide. From bustling ports to volatile stock markets, the tension is palpable. The future of the global economy hangs in the balance. In a move that sent shockwaves through the global economy, re-elected U.S. President Donald Trump doubled down on his protectionist policies. He imposed a staggering 60% tariff on nearly all remaining Chinese imports. Trump argued that these tariffs were crucial to protecting American jobs and industries from unfair Chinese trade practices. He vowed to bring back manufacturing to the U.S. and reduce the trade deficit. China, under the leadership of President Xi Jinping, responded strategically to the U.S. tariffs. Beijing implemented a series of countermeasures including targeted tariffs on American goods. They also leveraged export controls, regulatory measures, and initiatives to boost domestic consumption. Xi Jinping emphasized China's resilience and determination to navigate the challenges posed by the trade war. The U.S.-China trade war has sent shockwaves through global markets. Uncertainty and volatility have become the new norm. Supply chains have been disrupted and businesses are grappling with rising costs.
The trade war is a lose-lose situation for everyone. It is damaging global growth and undermining the rules-based trading system.
Section 5. American industry under fire. Apple, caught in the crosshairs. In recent years, the tech industry has faced numerous challenges, and Apple, one of the most prominent players, has not been immune to these pressures. American companies operating in China, such as tech giant Apple, have found themselves caught in the crossfire. The geopolitical tensions between the United States and China have created a complex environment for businesses. These tensions have led to increased scrutiny and regulatory hurdles, making it difficult for companies to navigate the landscape. Apple, heavily reliant on Chinese manufacturing, faced increased costs and logistical challenges. The company's dependence on China for its production needs has made it vulnerable to disruptions. Trade tariffs, political disputes, and the global pandemic have all contributed to a challenging operating environment. The cost of doing business in China has risen, and the logistical complexities have only added to the strain. The company has explored diversifying its supply chain by shifting some production to other countries like India and Vietnam. This strategic move aims to mitigate risks and reduce dependency on a single country. By expanding its manufacturing footprint, Apple hopes to create a more resilient supply chain. India and Vietnam offer attractive alternatives with their growing manufacturing capabilities and favorable business environments. However, replicating China's vast and efficient manufacturing ecosystem is a daunting task. China's infrastructure, skilled labor force, and established supply chain networks are unparalleled. Building similar capabilities in other countries will take time and significant investment. Despite these challenges, Apple remains committed to its diversification strategy, recognizing the importance of a flexible and adaptable supply chain in an increasingly uncertain world.
Section 6. A world on edge. Germany, Australia, and the global ripple effect. The trade war's ripple effects are felt far beyond the US and China. The interconnected nature of the global economy means that when two of the world's largest economies clash, the consequences reverberate across continents, affecting nations that might seem distant from the epicenter of the conflict. Export-oriented economies like Germany and Australia, heavily reliant on Chinese demand, are experiencing a significant slowdown. These countries have built their economic models around the steady flow of goods to China, and any disruption in this flow can have profound implications for their economic stability. German car manufacturers, for example, have seen sales plummet as Chinese consumers tighten their belts. The automotive industry, a cornerstone of Germany's economy, is facing unprecedented challenges. Factories are scaling back production, and unsold cars are piling up in stockyards, leading to concerns about job security for thousands of workers. The Australian mining industry, a major supplier of raw materials to China, is also grappling with falling demand and prices. Mining companies are finding it increasingly difficult to maintain profitability as the prices of key commodities like iron ore and coal decline. This downturn is not just an economic issue but also a social one, as mining communities face the prospect of reduced incomes and job losses. Financial markets in both Germany and Australia are reacting to these economic pressures. Stock exchanges are experiencing volatility, and economic analysts are revising growth forecasts downward. The uncertainty is palpable, with investors wary of making bold moves in such an unpredictable environment. Policymakers in both countries are scrambling to mitigate the impact. In Germany, there are discussions about stimulus packages to support key industries, while in Australia, the government is considering measures to diversify its economic base and reduce its reliance on Chinese demand. These policy decisions will be crucial in determining how well these nations can weather the storm. The global community is also taking note. International economic summits are increasingly focusing on the broader implications of the trade war, with leaders from various countries discussing collaborative strategies to stabilize the global economy. The hope is that, through cooperation and strategic planning, the ripple effects can be managed and mitigated. While the challenges are significant, there is also a sense of resilience and hope. Economies have faced downturns before and emerged stronger. With the right mix of policy interventions, international cooperation, and adaptive strategies, Germany, Australia, and the global economy can navigate these turbulent times and look forward to a more stable future.
Section 7. Seeking Shelter. ASEAN and the Search for Stability. Amidst the trade war turmoil, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, has emerged as a voice of reason. ASEAN countries are actively seeking to mitigate the risks posed by the trade war by strengthening regional economic integration and diversifying their trade partners. They are also working to attract foreign investment and promote intra-ASEAN trade. Section 8. The long arm of the law, U.S. Customs Enforcement ramps up. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection Agency has significantly ramped up its enforcement efforts in response to the trade war. They are using advanced technologies, including artificial intelligence and big data analytics, to identify and seize goods suspected of violating the new tariff rules. The agency has also increased inspections and audits of companies importing from China. Section 9. Market mayhem. Investors brace for impact. The U.S.-China trade war continues to fuel uncertainty in the markets. Investors are closely monitoring the situation, trying to anticipate the next move in this high-stakes game of economic chess.
The market is on edge. Volatility is likely to persist as long as the trade war drags on.
Section 10. A call for calm. The IMF's plea for dialogue. The International Monetary Fund, or IMF, has repeatedly called for a de-escalation of the trade war.
The current trade tensions are a threat to the global economy. We urge both sides to engage in constructive dialogue and find a mutually beneficial solution.
Section 11. The road ahead. A new world order in the making. As we stand at the precipice of a new era, the dynamics of global power are shifting in unprecedented ways. The U.S.-China trade war is not just an economic conflict, it represents a deeper, more complex struggle for supremacy on the world stage. This conflict is reshaping the very fabric of international relations. It is a geopolitical struggle for global influence and dominance, with each nation vying to assert its vision for the future. The stakes are not merely about tariffs and trade deficits, but about who will lead the next chapter of human progress. The outcome of this trade war will have profound implications for the future of the global order. It will determine the balance of power and influence for decades to come, affecting everything from technological innovation to military alliances.
As the world watches with bated breath, the tension is palpable. Every move, every decision made by these two superpowers is scrutinized and analyzed as the global community tries to predict the next steps. One thing is clear: the global landscape is being redrawn. The traditional lines of power and influence are shifting, and new alliances are being forged. The old order is giving way to a new, more complex reality. The stakes have never been higher. The decisions made in the coming months and years will shape the future of our world. Economies will rise and fall, and the lives of billions will be affected. The world is watching, and the future is uncertain, but one thing is for sure: we are witnessing the dawn of a new world order.